Hi, this is Jay LaRose of Saw 3, Insidious, Devil's Carnival, and Repo kind of fame. I don't know, not fame, but hey, you're listening to the Tim O and Harley Show. Enjoy.
Welcome to the Tim O and Harley Show.
Thank you for listening to Tim O and Harley Show. I am Tim O. Over there is my partner in mind crime, Mr. Ben Harley. Say hello, Harley.
What is happening, people?
Ben Hunter Hurst Harley.
That's me. Triple H.
Yes. How you been, Mr. Ben Harley?
I'm not too bad, Timo. Not too bad. Trying to keep up over here. Keep my head above water, but everything's going all right, my man.
It's a good place to keep your head. Good place
That's
to keep
right.
it. Don't do the opposite. Doesn't work well.
No.
Doesn't work well. Your feet don't breathe as well as your head. I don't know what the hell's going on, but it was a design flaw, Mr. Ben Harley. Design flaw, I guess.
I know.
I just got back.
How you doing, bud?
Not too bad. Angio and I just got back from HorrorHound in Indy.
Yeah.
I'm going to talk about that here in a minute, but I want to announce a couple things, talk about a couple things first up. Let's see. November 29th, Mr. Ben Harley, Black Friday.
Black Friday. Okay.
Fragile Porcelain Mice once again will be playing with the Urge at the pageant in St. Louis. So that's a big deal. That's like a 2,000 seat stadium club.
Yeah.
It's like a theater club. Yeah, basically. And then 6% is also on the bill. I do believe they're from Kansas City.
Okay.
That's not their fault that I'm hedging on that. That's my fault because I don't, not only do I not leave my house, I don't leave my digital realm. Like I don't even leave. I don't go anywhere. So not even on the internet to check shit. So unless we're doing movies, But
that's right.
So that will be again November 29th, and I do believe, Mr. Ben Harley, we will be pulling out a new song, a new Fragile Porcelain Mice song.
Oh wow!
Yeah, first time we've done that in over a decade.
So it's been a minute, huh?
Actually, been a minute. So that's coming up. That'll be fun. That'll be a good time. Looking forward to that. Also, I'd like to announce, Mr. Ben Harley, there has been a seismic shift in the Timo and Angio household. I have for years now been the supporter of Me TV, not hating on Me TV, but I gotta tell you right now, Antenna TV is my new jam.
Is it your new jam?
My new jam, yeah, because they got Barney Miller on at night, and then after that, they've got Johnny Carson.
Oh man, those are good. You know those, and you don't get to see them very often anymore at all. No. Unless it's on Time Life or something, you gotta buy them.
When I got Robin Williams and Jonathan Winters on the couch next to Johnny, you got what was the other night? There was somebody, Don Rickles. Don Rickles is on twice so far that I've been watching. So it's
he's out and he goes after Carson.
Oh yeah,
he lets into him, man.
It's after everybody.
Everybody, yeah.
Oh, but that's my new jam. It's now here in St. Louis. It's our Fox side station. So our Fox affiliate here is Channel 2. Okay, so it would be 2.2 would be Antenna here, but that's my new jam. Now Saturdays, I'm still all about Me TV. I still got my Three Stooges, Wonder Woman, Spenguli. But I'm sorry, I'm just not watching like
Mayberry RFD.
Well, that's off now, but I'm not like Gomer Pyle. I'm not watching Gomer Pyle. I'm not watching Hogan's Heroes. I
never got too hip.
No,
I have. But
no, it's just now Carol Burnett's still on. I still like that, but they're playing really old Carol Burnett's like before Tim Conway even came on the scene on that show. So but anyway, Antenna TV, Barney Miller, so that's my new. I'm jamming on Mr. Ben Harley. Jamming on.
That's good.
Yep,
that's actually good. I was taping that there for a little while. And Barney Miller is a good show. It's funny. A lot of good characters in that. Not just, the guys in the main cast, but all the people that they would bring in.
They were great.
There's some great character actors and stuff like that. So
they also got
great show.
They also got some Archie Bunker on this channel too. So I'm doing all right. I'm doing all right with the antenna TV. I have made the seismic shift, as I said. So let's see here, Mr. Ben Harley. I'm going to talk about let's talk about HorrorHound, and then I only got a couple little bitty movie things to talk about here. But let's talk about HorrorHound.
Okay, sure. Yeah.
Good time. We stayed in an Airbnb. I enjoyed that much more than the hotel. Mr. Ben Harley, I've been getting cranky with hotels for. Speaking of a decade, over a decade now. Yeah. The older I got, the less like an adult they treated me. I was getting upset with this shit, So the Airbnb was wonderful, though. It was right down the street. There was restaurants underneath us, everything. So we get there, let's see, Thursday. Yeah. And let's see, what did we do? So we help Bob load in. Okay. We end up walking downstairs. Now, downstairs at the Airbnb, we're right downtown. So there's restaurants underneath. Out my window, we're at like a four-way stop, and out my window, there's an old spaghetti factory. So we're in the heart of restaurants and stuff. So we walk outside. There's a door right there for a place called the District Tap. So we're like, oh, all right, let's go in here. Now, at that moment, our evening almost became like a Forrest Gump-like bubble moment. So we walk in. And they say, how many? We say 3. It was me and Bob and Angio, DVD Bob Slendorn, Jimmy the Lips, whatever the hell you want to call him. So we walk in and they say, do you have reservations? We're like, oh, here we go. I'm like, no. They said, well, we're not open to the public tonight. This is a trial run for our brand new restaurant. But the public is invited to sit at the bar, and we do have our menu. Well, okay. We'll sit at the bar. I mean, we can drink. We know how to do that, right? We've been there before. So we sit at the bar and we sit down, and then they hand us our menus. And of course, me and Angio, I got wine. Angio and Bob were pounding back the beers, of course, because they're Hoosiers. They're Hoosiers, They're beating back the beers. I'm drinking some wine and stuff. They give us the menus. And Bob looks over and goes, hey, there's no prices on the menu. That's never a good sign. I said, no, it's not. No, it's not.
No.
So come to find out, this was a trial run for this brand new restaurant opening up. The reason there was no prices on the menu, Mr. Ben Harley, is that it was free.
No.
It was free.
Oh, my God.
We spent $30 on drinks and $0 on food.
And how was the food? Was it a good trial run?
Good. It was good. I didn't know it was free, of course. So I had like a pizza. Bob had like a plate of, I think he had some kind of shrimp thing. And then Angie had, I don't remember. It was Angie. I don't remember what they had. But the guy next to us had a bar full of food. He was keep it coming later. They knew it was free food there. I did not know. We did not know. So that was surreal. The whole thing was surreal.
Yeah, totally.
So
you're gonna end up on television, Tim. I'm gonna be watching you on some show or something.
Right. That fun. Now we did have a good time in the restaurants. We went to a pizza joint. I know Friday nights are late, so we went to like one of those carry-out pizza places right underneath our door again. Right underneath our door, just walked it up, and then we ate that. And then Saturday night, we did hit an old spaghetti factory with Ryan Long, as Bob calls him, Little Ryan. Roger, and Roger. I like to call him Roger. Roger and Ryan both came out and helped on Saturday. Roger went home. Ryan crashed with us, and then we went there. So good to see Roger and Ryan.
Yeah, how's he doing? How's he doing?
Which one, Ryan or Roger? Roger's doing okay. He was trying to tempt us with a German Shepherd puppy that he's trying to find a home for. Yeah. He knew. Yeah. It's like me. Yeah. I remember what movies people like. Roger, who works like in the stray rescue type of field, he remembers what kind of dog you like.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He does.
So he remembered I love German Shepherds. So beautiful dog.
Oh, yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful dog. So, but anyway, now this was the first time it was at the convention center, the Indiana Convention Center. Last year was at the JW Marriott. It was a giant hotel in downtown. It's like part of the skyline. Big deal here. So this was larger floor space.
Okay. And
they had the Mask Fest and HorrorHound in the giant room. And unfortunately, in a small room off to the side, off to the ghetto part, then that's where they had the Factor Fiction Fest. Which
it was as elusive as Bigfoot.
It was a little elusive. I think that if they had the chance to do that over, I had a funny feeling they would at least put a sign up. I didn't see a sign or anything, and I was a little surprised. I was a little surprised by that, just because that's not the first rodeo these guys have been around, so
No.
and I don't think that was on Jeff. Jeff Byers, our good buddy Jeff Byers. I think that was oversight somewhere. If there was a sign, I didn't see it.
Yeah.
So I didn't know where Factor Fiction Fest was until I think Saturday.
Wow.
And we were promoting it, and I didn't know exactly where it was. So that needs to be fixed should they do it again.
Big time.
Yeah.
Big
So
time,
now I know there were celebrities there, and I saw some walk by. Like I think David Arquette walked by, and Justin Long.
Do you look like me?
Hey, you know what? No, you're more handsome. You're just more handsome. He looked like a bad stunt double for Ben Harley, I think.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah. So let's see. A few people I got to see. Ken Daniels came by and chatted with us for a little while. Hadn't seen him in a little while. Brian and Ellie. Brian Williams and Ellie Church. So now here's
how they doing.
They're doing pretty good. I don't know if I ever told you this story or not, but they put a post up on Facebook. Okay. I just happened to catch, and Brian said, me and Ellie's 22nd wedding anniversary. Wow. They've been married longer than me and Angio. That's impressive.
Yeah.
So they said, what better way to celebrate than to go see the Queers and the Dwarves?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Where?
So I texted Brian, or I think I just put a little message. Hey, say hi to Mark. Say hi to the guitar player, Mark. And then I thought about it, and I said, hey. So I texted old Mark Diamond, the Fresh Prince of Darkness himself, and I said, we got some friends there. They're filmmakers. 22nd wedding anniversary. They're celebrating with you guys in the Queers. Could you say something? And he said, well, I'll give it a shot. No, those things are crapshoots. And I know that for sure. From personal experience. If you remember, you remember. If you don't, fuck it, it's over.
If you don't,
yeah. Right. So, and I never heard anything back, so I just kind of blew it off. No big deal. So I asked Ellie, I saw Ellie first. I said, did they say anything? And she said, oh, yeah, they did. So I saw Brian outside a little bit later, and then Ellie walked up, and then, Brian said the same thing. He's like, yeah, cool. So thank you, Mark Diamond, the Fresh Prince of Darkness himself, and the Dwarves. That's a hard thing to remember. Nice. It's a hard thing to remember to do something like that. I know, because I've done it on stage before. So you can get a little wrapped up in what's going on and forget people that you've never met.
That's really nice of them. That's really cool. Now, where was the show at, Tim?
Atlanta. Brian and Ellie actually live down there now. They live down there.
Oh, okay.
And I can report they do have a movie coming out. And they even shorten the name of it. It's like Jesse's Super Normal Average Day or something like that. Don't know much about it, but they screened it. I, of course, did not go see the screening. I don't really feel bad about that stuff because I don't think they put a movie out I haven't bought. Every time Brian and Ellie put a movie out, I buy it because I appreciate Brian's. He's getting every movie. He's getting even more and more professional looking. So I enjoy watching that progress of someone that I've known for a long time. So not that we're best friends sharing straws, and milkshakes, but we've known him for a long time. It's nice to see that happen. So that was kind of cool. See those guys and get confirmation that actually happened with that. And happy anniversary, belated, from Timo and Harley here.
Yeah, that's right.
Let's see. We were across from Joel, saw old Joel, and only had to watch his booth one time, Mr. Ben Harley.
That's it? Oh, man. I know he was trying to get me to come down to watch the
Really? I don't know. I think this marriage and having kids thing, I don't know, might be slowing even Joel down.
Might be.
I don't know. Yeah. And he actually came back in short order. I sat there for he goes, Timo, I got to go pee or something. I'm like, oh, God, here we go. I might as well just, bring my water over and my snacks and everything.
Ready to camp out.
Nope. He came back.
Nice. Well, that's good.
Yeah.
That's a plus.
Yeah. So he came back. So that was good.
Did you make any sales, Timo?
No, I didn't. But that's probably why he came back so quick. He probably watched is he going to sell anything? Fuck it. I better find somebody else and go back. I'm not exactly Shannon Van Meter when it comes to threatening people's lives with death unless you buy something. So
buy or die.
right. But good to see him. I mentioned Jeff Byers. Of course, Jeff Byers ran the Factor Fiction Fest. You missed that, Mr. Ben Harley, even though they were kind of in a little hidden corner. There was people walking through. I think they did have maps and stuff, but look, here's the thing. Not everybody looks at those fucking maps. I don't look at maps. I just walk around.
No.
My wife is the kind of person who looks at maps. I'm a guy. I just where am I going? But anyway, so in their room, they had a pretty good little set up there. Travis Walton saw him, didn't talk to him. He was talking to other people. Yeah. I mean, what else? I've already said my piece to him, so I didn't really.
Right.
So I decided not to. But anyway, it was good to see him. It was still good to see him. Looked like he was doing well. So that's good. Let's see here. Jody Cook, who we met at the
Jody Cook
Ohio Bigfoot Conference. He had a table there. Did not talk to him either. He was talking to somebody. Whenever I came through, so I just kind of walked by. Didn't want to bother him. Didn't want to stop a sale.
No, I don't.
I already bought a handprint off him, so it's like
I got mine right here. Yeah, sitting right here.
I got mine sit up here too. So we good to see him, and then Mr. Ben Harley, Angio, and I got to meet together. Now, me and you have met this gentleman before, but Angie never had the pleasure of meeting Mr. Bob Gimlin.
Wow, yeah, frisky Bob Gimlin.
Angio never has commented this before in her life. She's like, "Ooh, he was flirty." I told you he was a flirty cowboy. It's what he is, He is
a very flirty cowboy.
But he's a gentleman flirter. He was a gentleman flirter. He didn't get too nasty or nothing, but we were going to take the picture, and I was in between, and he looked at me like, "Oh no. This lovely lady here gets in between us." I'm like, "Okay, all right, good talking good talking to him." I did tell him that we just had Jeff on the show and that we had met him before in Ohio, and so we don't go there anymore. Just we don't do shows much anymore. I said, but we did meet you, and it was good to meet you and good to see you again. I said Jeff always has good things about you, and Bob reciprocated. Bob said, "I love Jeff. Anybody doesn't love Jeff, there's something wrong with them."
Yeah, exactly.
So I gotta agree with Bob Gimlin on that. Now, Bob Gimlin's correct about that. He's got to be correct about the Patty footage. He's got to be correct about the.
Got to be correct about that.
So, and a little surprise, Mr. Ben Harley. That's probably going to bum you out a little bit because you weren't there. That's all.
Yeah,
going to bum you out a little bit. I did talk to Charles Pierce's daughter.
Oh, you did?
I did.
Oh, yeah.
The Blu-ray, I do believe, of Legend of Boggy Creek will be coming out, I believe, in October.
Okay,
so,
great.
And I even showed Bob the trailer, DVD Bob. He was freaked out. It looks incredible. You can find it on YouTube, but you got to find the right trailer. It's in glorious wide screen, not just blowing up on your TV. I mean, like theatrical 235, 240 widescreen. Looks like it was shot tomorrow. I mean, just insanely beautiful. Beautiful. Yeah.
I like that, too. That was a good one.
Let's see. Last up, Mr. Ben Harley, I did not see him, believe it or not, did not lay eyes. Angio did. Giorgio Seleucus or whatever his name is from Ancient Aliens. Giorgio Seleucus or whatever his name is from Ancient Aliens. He was there. Now, unfortunately, he was supposed to be in the Fact or Fiction room.
Was his hair there?
His hair was there. I don't know what happened, but he moved into the HorrorHound room. I did not like that. I have no idea what happened. I didn't talk to Jeff about it. I didn't talk to anybody about it because I didn't want to talk to anybody about it because I was busy and didn't care that much.
Right.
But now that I'm sitting back thinking about it, I don't like that for our good friend Jeff Byers, and I don't know what happened. I don't know who wanted to leave. I don't know. It might have been Jeff's decision. If it was the wrong one.
Very wrong. Yeah,
I don't think it was Jeff's decision. I can't see that, but I'm saying it's like, I don't know one person in the convention who didn't look at that move and give the same groaning, like, "Oh, come on, man." Yeah. And I just want to tell everybody out there that makes these decisions that it's not hidden. People do see what's going on. I mean, they do see it, and it doesn't make anybody look good in the long run. Doesn't help anybody. It would have been much better if Giorgio had stayed over there for what. And I don't. I swear on my wife and I's love that I do not know what happened. I don't have any clue who did what or anything. So anybody listening who may have been involved, I don't know. I just saw that Giorgio was in one room, moved to the other room, and that room needed help.
Yeah,
and that doesn't to me make any sense. That's only benefits.
It's a dick move.
It doesn't benefit everyone. So anyway, it's kind of a dick move. Yeah. So anyway, but I didn't see him. I didn't see any. We did get a picture taken with Bob Gimlin, Mr. Ben Harley. I bought one autograph this weekend. I was supporting Factor Fiction Fest, and I got an autograph from Bob Gimlin. We got a picture with him. And, it was one of those.
I got a picture with him once.
We did get a picture with him. That's correct. I was thinking about it too. It's like, if I would have pulled strings, that could have happened for nothing. But I am supporting these things. I'm tired of that shit going on. I don't know. That just bothers Jeff. That's the kind of shit why I don't want to do this stuff. I'm not coming to Jeff because we're friends going, give me some for free. Well, why don't you just give me his whole stock of Creature Replica shit for free too while he's at it? No, he worked hard to do this, so I wasn't doing that. And also, I also supported Factor Fiction Fest. They had a cool little stand with a raven, a live raven.
Ooh, nice.
You could take a picture
with.
Yep, so I took a picture with a live raven.
Nice. They didn't bite at you or not?
No, we had some funny moments, as you can imagine. We had some funny moments, as you can imagine. No, I didn't do it. Let's see, a few people saw Mr. Ben Harley, saw Ruth, our good friend Ruth.
Yeah.
And she's got one badass new wheelchair that me and Angie were looking up and down. You missed that too. It's a battle
chair, right? It's a battle chair.
I looked over at her father. I believe her parents were with her. Yeah. And I looked over at her father. I said, the last time I saw something like that, James Garner drove it around in the whole movie. I was talking of Tank, of course, you know. So he got it. I think he got it. He looked at me like, I like you, young man. You know,
you're all right. You young whippersnapper.
Yeah. And you know how fathers are around their daughters. If there's any dude around, you're looking them up and down, going, "Don't you do anything?" Oh, wait, he made a James Garner reference.
Yeah, he's okay. Yeah.
You can be my son-in-law anytime you want if you want to talk James Garner. You know, so. But no, very cool. She did have a cool new chair, so she's doing well, which is good.
Awesome.
Let's see, right next to us, Mr. Ben Harley, right next to Bob, because we were helping Bob all weekend. Conveniently was our good friend, Mr. Scary Gary Nichols.
Scary Gary. Yeah.
He found some boxes of old shit and pulled them out. Mr. Ben Harley, I bought a Black Sleep t-shirt, and I was just talking about that movie like a week ago. That Angie and I watched it. Yeah, so I got that, and actually got a Faster Pussycat t-shirt that I hadn't gotten.
Kill.
Yeah. So that was good. Him and Lisa. Lisa was there too. Now, here's what's funny, and I didn't tell you this story or not, but Angio was talking to Gary. Now, Angio was telling me this story. I wish Gary was telling me this story because I could have given him my rebuttal, of course.
Okay.
So Angio asked Gary something that I should ask. I'm really pissed off myself. I'm too much of a dick to think of these things. But Angie asked Gary, "How's Ronnie doing?" And she's like, "Well, he's still around. He's okay. He's officially on disability now, so he's off the clock completely. His bubble is complete. He's done. But he had to have a surgery on his leg. Okay,
really.
So now his new thing." He's convinced the doctor shortened one of his legs on purpose.
God, no. On purpose.
And he sits there on the end of a chair, dangling his legs, going, "See, look, one of my legs is touching, one of them isn't. One of my legs is touching, one of them isn't." And Angie's telling me this story. I'm like, "Well, thank God he didn't get on me about that." She's like, "Why?" I was like, "I would have come right at him and said, Ronnie, how do you know they didn't actually make your one leg longer?" And that would have really fucked his world up. It's probably better I don't. And you know Ronnie, and it's probably better that he doesn't hear those words.
Yeah, you would have thrown him for a loop. Yeah, because then
If I thought he had access to the internet, I'd even edit that out. Moving on, Miss Banana. Ronnie, we love you. I miss you, Ronnie. I really do. Yeah. You're a goober, but I like it. And anybody else wants to make fun of you, I'm going to punch him in the head. I'm allowed to use you as material. That's good. Yeah. Let's see. I'd like to also report, Mr. Ben Harley, that between Synapse, Vinegar Syndrome, and Severin, they almost called security on me. All the movie tales. I bought so much stuff. I think they thought I was giving them funny money. It was bad. Oh, my lordy. I did. I made a haul. I made quite a haul, Mr. Ben Harley. I did. Yeah. I bought way
good for you, though, buddy.
I know. I bought.
That's your thing. It's your thing, right?
It is. But we had a good time. We missed you, Mr. Ben Harley. We missed you.
I wish I could have been there. It'd have been fun. I miss the going to the shows. I really do. I don't miss the death race to get my shirts done before I get there.
Right.
But other than that, I missed it. Yeah.
Well, that's what I enjoy about just going to helping Bob. I didn't bring one thing to sell. Yeah. I mean, I even thought about bringing like our movies because it was Factor Fiction Fest. I just thought, you know what? Yeah. I'm not bringing anything. I don't want any responsibility. I just want to help Bob. I just want to sit there, and what I enjoy is people walking up and talking about movies. Yeah. And you're like a detective. I do too. Yeah. You're like a detective. Yeah. People are like, "What's that one movie?" And they'll explain it to you, and you look it up and stuff. And I have a ball doing that. I really do have a ball doing that.
Yeah. You and Bob are really good at remembering those or finding those ones out for people.
We just obsess over this stuff. So you kind
too.
of, you
nerds.
Yeah.
Nerds.
So, but it's
what can you do?
Right. I enjoy it. And helping Bob is fun. I mean, he needs help. Just the eyeballs on his table. My God.
Yeah. Because there's times where he has quite a few people. A lot of people looking at it. And it would be hard to keep up with all that,
Right. But
you got 20 people looking at stuff and pulling stuff out, and
right.
Bob's got a big booth.
Yes, he does, and big boobs, and a big booth. Not as big as mine, though. Let me tell you. All right, so I only got to watch one thing. That was HorrorHound. Thank you, everybody. Did see Aaron? Thanks, Aaron. Aaron did thank us. Aaron thanked us for promoting Factor Fiction Fest. Yes, Aaron Crowell. Nice. Yes, from HorrorHound. Of course, you never see Nathan, but Aaron, I talked to.
Who's this?
But I did talk to Aaron for a little bit. He's our buddy,
okay.
And he did thank us and everything, and so that was nice. That was nice, and everything did seem to be. I mean, for a first time at this place, at this huge convention center, it needs to be tweaked out. It needs to be tweaked. But it was run really well. I mean, for it being the first time. I mean, I'm sure they'll adjust and stuff. Yeah. So, hopefully he'll be back there. We'll see. I asked Aaron, and Aaron looked at me like, fuck off. I'm like, I don't know what's happening next year.
I don't know, Tim.
Yeah. I mean, he wasn't like that, but, that's what I would have been like, and I realized it was a stupid question to ask at that moment. But good times. Thanks, everybody. If I forgot anybody, I know I forgot people. I apologize. And it's good seeing everybody. Real good seeing everybody. Good. So I only got to really watch one movie, Miss Bernhardt. I did watch two. One's not worth mentioning. So I'm just going to go from 1973 because I know you've probably seen this. Angio and I watched Soylent Green, and she had never seen it before. So I got my Charlton Heston and Chuck Connors fix.
I do believe they're selling that stuff at Burger King now.
Impossible Burger. I've tried one of those. They're good. They're good.
I know. My ex-wife Julie had one the other day, and I said that to her. I said, "So how's the Soylent Green?" And she said, "Oh, it's good." I said, "Oh, man,
it's good."
Yeah, it's just the start, Timo.
I know.
It's just the start of this feeding us sawdust, and then from sawdust, people.
Right. Well, the main reason, of course, I just hadn't watched it with Angie and hadn't seen it for a long time. Two things about it. One, Angio and I have in our later years here in our marriage have been kind of getting on to Edward G. Robinson. Both of us really like him a lot, and this was I believe it was his last movie. Okay. And he's still Edward G. Robinson. He's still just a firecracker, and he's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And also Charlton Heston is just the most over actor that I've ever seen in my entire life. Like, I don't believe every time I watch him, I'm like, you're just all technique. That's like naked technique. You're not hiding it. You're overacting. You're chewing up scenery. He literally is rolling around on things, chewing up. He's rolling on scenery, not just chewing it up. On the very end, he's got his hand up going, Soylent Green, it's people.
It's
people. He's yelling at a bunch of homeless people. Like, what are they going to do about it? I don't know. Like, great. Now I know I'm going to go in 2 hours when the scoop gets me. Great. Thanks. That's an okay little movie. It's like not a long one. It's like 90 minutes, 93 minutes long. That helps it a lot. I
will say, though, the Phil Hartman's Saturday Night Live skit of it still to this day makes me cry.
I don't know if I've seen that.
Yeah, what it was is real fast. They had a thing where John Goodman, who was supposed to be the director of Soylent Green, they have him on, and he said, "Well, okay, so, then they go through Soylent Green, and they keep going on through. Well, the part twos, Soylent Green is." It would change, each time. But,
I got you. So something else.
Yeah. But with each different movie, they would have a part where, Phil Hartman would come out and do the Soylent Green as people. Right. And it just, when I first saw it, to me, it was one of the last real good Saturday Night Live skits. I'm sorry. It just was fun.
Right.
Oh my God. But you have to get a chance, or if not, I'll try to send it over to you.
Yeah. Well,
because you know how Hartman is. He can overact, and he just does it. So it's just so great.
Right,
it's the greatest thing ever.
It's something I've always noticed about Heston. The other thing I noticed about Heston, I asked Angio, and it took her about 5 minutes. I think 5 minutes after thinking about it, she was kind of freaked out by it. But I'm like, have you ever noticed how much Charlton Heston and Arnold Schwarzenegger look like each other? And she's like, no, they don't. I was like, yeah, think about Arnold Schwarzenegger skinny and that big mouth with a gap in the teeth and the big bushy eyebrow. I mean, I'm saying like in the face, she's like, and the wide mouth with a smile and everything. I'm like, she's like, holy shit. I was like, yeah, I don't know. So
think about it.
Yeah, kind of weird. You got anything to talk about, or what we got here? Anything?
You know, Tim, just a little bit. I was able to go to a little wrestling show in Lima, which is about an hour out of Toledo, and I went with one of a little potentate of hate fan, one of my little fans, and his dad.
Like a Make-A-Wish thing or something? What'd you do here?
Yeah, pretty much. My Make-A-Wish, yeah.
You got a free ride?
I wish I had a fan. So yeah, we got to do that, which was kind of cool. Now the show was really cool. I've been trying to break into this war wrestling down in Lima. The show has a couple of the guys from our Power Bomb Wrestling. There's a few guys that wrestle down there,
right?
But they really packed the house. They put a lot of people in the seats, which we do an okay job, but I always felt like we should do a lot more. And so anyways, I went down there to kind of, see what I could do, see what I could talk to some people and get my foot in the door. So had a good time watching the show for a change.
I get that.
Yeah. So that was neat. It was kind of fun, but
well, very good. So you got to see some wrestling. Anything else you got?
Yeah. No, Timo, not really, but
it's okay.
No. I did watch a really good documentary, but it's a hockey one, so I won't bore you with it.
Okay.
But it's it was good. It had me fired up.
Give me the title of it so that people who listen who are into hockey can find it. What is the title of it?
It was called Orchestrating an Upset, and it was about the 96 World Cup of hockey, where the United States upset Canada. And Canada had, at the time, they had superstars and Hall of Famers who were on the fourth line. That's how good this team was. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
It was insane,
right.
and USA's always been the little brother to Canada, and we don't like that.
Of course, yeah.
I love Canada. I love Canada, but and I love hockey, but man,
if you love Canada, I hope you loved our official film. It was shot there. What?
Oh, yeah.
Where was it? Where was it streaming at, or where'd you see it at?
Actually, it was on NHL Network the other day.
Okay. So you saw it on NHL Network, and what's the title of it again?
Orchestrating Upset. Yes.
Okay, Orchestrating Upset. All right. Well, now we've let people know if they are hockey fans where they can go and watch that. I'm sure they'll enjoy that.
An upset. Yes.
Let's get to our official film, Mr. Ben Harley. Yes, shot in Canada, believe it or not. Now, this one to me, this is a very, very special piece of cinema here. Which actually is a piece of television, to be honest with you. This is a 1978. It aired actually 21st of January, 1978. It's produced in 77. This is a show called The World Beyond. It was supposed to be a television series. They made 2 episodes. This episode is called Monster. Okay, so it's The World
Beyond. Did they cancel it then? Did they cancel it?
It's real hard to find information on this because it had 2 episodes and was gone. Okay. Now, what I do know about it is that the second episode was called Vampire, and nobody cared about it. Apparently, it was really, really, really bad. This one, episode Monster, has a cult following, and it's impossible.
You're in that cult.
I am one of the leader guys of that cult following. I mean, it's like I'm the cult leader. I'm the guy that's I'm the guy that's making you get a haircut and wear a robe and stuff. But the thing is that it's impossible to find, and there's a whole group of people about our age who saw this when they were a little kid. Because in 78, you had 4 channels. You had PBS, ABC, NBC, and CBS. That's it. You might have had a mom and pop station, and you're like an independent little channel that would play, stuff, whatever, reruns and things like that. But that's what we basically had. So this aired, and probably a quarter of the country saw it. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, again, it's called The World Beyond, episode Monster. All right. Let me get, first, okay, what I was getting to is that what's also important about this is that at HorrorHound was the first time in history that this has been sold that I know of at a convention.
Okay.
Because I brought it. We sold out.
And really?
I sold my copy. I had to give my copy up to sell. Because it's sold out. I had Bob made a case for him and stuff, and I was like, "Oh, give me a case. I don't have a case for this, and stuff." Well, no, and not only did I have to give up my case, but my extra copy I had on me. So luckily, I still got it. I ain't giving away that shit. You kidding me? This is and it was recorded off of a Betamax when it aired. So what you're seeing is like a VHS transfer, but it's a beta transfer. It's not even VHS.
Wow.
What happened was... What happened was there is some sort of discrepancy between the person who did the music, I believe, and the director, who was Noel Black, and Noel Black has passed away. I don't think this is ever going to get sorted out. We're never going to see this. This is the only way you're ever going to see it. This is a DVD Bob, very special. Very special DVD Bob special. Let me get out Movie Guy real quick and give you a real short storyline because I'm going to go back into this movie and give you a little bit of my personal history with it and everything else. So here we go. So The World Beyond episode Monster. Get out Movie Guy. Here we go.
Yes.
A golem made of mud terrorizes a couple on a remote Maine island. Okay, so this series it stars Granville Van Dusen. I'm glad I don't have that name. Not a bad actor, though. Not a bad presence on screen and stuff. He had a near-death experience and now has the unfortunate ability to be contacted by the other side when someone who is in the realm of the living needs help. So he'll be dreaming and this face will come up in his mind and go, "You need to help so-and-so. You need to help, so-and-so." In this case, it's the Fabers, okay? So he needs to help Jo Beth Williams. And in 1978, what dude wouldn't want to help Jo Beth Williams?
Oh, that's right.
So Jo Beth Williams' brother lives on a remote island, and they lost contact with him. So she's going to go out and see him. And meanwhile, Granville Van Dusen, the main guy who gets a psychic message from him, they're both going on a boat that is driven by Bernard Hughes.
From Lost Boys, right?
The Lost Boys. No, he was the grandpa. Yeah, the grandpa in the Lost Boys. He's even in Tron. He's in Doc Hollywood. I mean, he's in a lot of stuff. Good.
Yeah, he's good.
Good old guy actor. Real good old guy. Yeah. And their dog, what was it, Lovey?
Got a good voice.
He's got a really good dog. So they go out there and realize that somehow her brother was into black magic and voodoo horse shit, and he made a golem, which is a mud monster.
Yeah. Golem.
Yes. So this aired in 78. In 78, is he January 78? I think it was 4 or 5. This is the first scary thing I've ever seen.
Okay.
The first I can recall. The first horror of all that in my life I ever saw. I couldn't sleep for weeks thinking a disembodied mud hand was coming up through my bed going to choke me out. When I was a little kid, I couldn't sleep for weeks. I mean, weeks after it. I was hooked on horror after that. Let's put it that way. This is what
still are.
Well, yeah, and the problem is that it came and went. Now, the show apparently after Vampire went out. Okay,
wow.
They replayed The World Beyond once or twice as like a little movie of the week. So they kind of I think might have re-edited a little and just said, okay, well, let's make it like an hour-long movie.
Sure.
Or something like that. And they did play again because I saw it twice on TV. Okay. The problem is since it never re-aired, was never released on VHS, DVD, or anything else because of whatever problems there was with copyrights and stuff.
Sure.
It just vanished into the ether. So Ben Harley.
Yes.
You can confirm for me that I have a sizable DVD Blu-ray collection, correct?
Yeah, a little one. It's just small.
Right.
Very small.
It started me searching for this film because I couldn't remember what it was called. I knew it as the Mud Monster. And that is what some people still call it. As a matter of fact, when Bob was selling it on his table, it was called the Mud Monster. I kept telling him, I was like, you need to call it the World Beyond the Mud Monster. But it's like, what did you call it? The Mud Monster. You're right.
Yeah.
So once I started buying my own movies and things as I was getting older, teenage years and stuff, I started just looking around for it. Now, there was no internet. Nothing like that. I just started looking around for it. I'm in a band. We toured a lot. My band will confirm for you that we stopped at every Coconuts, every like mall, every video store, every rental store, and I would scour the shelves trying to find if I could find this thing.
Yeah.
Never could find it. Never could find it. So go ahead 20 some odd years later. I don't remember if I was actually married to NGO yet, dating her or whatever. She got on the antique internet back in the day when it was chat rooms and things like that. She found a chat room full of people, okay, talking about this. Now, when I would tell people, I would say, do you remember a movie on TV and this is what it was? And I would explain to them everything I remember. It was a mud monster, salt killed it, and this and that. And nobody remembered it. Nobody remembered it. If they did, they remembered something else that was different. You know, that was close to it, but it wasn't it or something like that. I mean, and I searched for years and years and years and years and years, never even knowing what the title of it was.
Yeah.
Okay. Angie finds this thing. And to this day, I say, that's why I married her.
Yeah.
This is why I found this woman, because I found two things I was looking for in my entire life. The woman I was going to live the rest of my life with and that fucking movie and the mud monster. And so that's a little bit of the story for me. And if you know me well enough, you know what this means to me.
Sure.
What this whole thing means to me. That being said, it was when I was a little kid. I'm honest about stuff, and I go back over things and look at them and laugh sometimes about what I liked and everything. I don't know, though. This, on the other hand, is made well. It reminds me of somewhere in between Twilight Zone and Tales from the Crypt.
Yeah.
Something like that. Seen through the prism of the late 70s.
Yeah,
it's
scary.
It's eerie. It's scary. It's eerie. Mm-hmm. It is. We have reviewed
especially for a young kid at that time would have been really terrifying.
Well, that's the thing.
I can't remember if I saw it or not when I was younger. I don't think so.
Okay. Well, that's the thing is I kept looking over at Angio like during some of these scenes going, I was like 4 or 5. You know, like watching this, you know, she was like, oh my, you know. Now, we have reviewed this before. I wanted to bring it back up because it is now finally a DVD Bob special.
Yes.
I couldn't be happier. I've been bugging Bob for years and years and years to sell this thing. Yeah. And I'm so glad it sold out. I'm so glad it did well because it makes me feel good. I always like it when Bob is selling something that he might have gotten from my direction. It always makes me feel warm that he's reaping some benefit, but so is a customer. They're getting things you can't find and stuff. So we did review this before again, but I am going to we're going back over it due to it being available now from Bob. But you have to go to HorrorHound because I think he's only doing HorrorHounds now. But you're going to have to go to HorrorHound to get it. But you can find this in Cincinnati, I would assume. So after all that, coming back to this again. So this will be probably the second time you've seen it.
Yes.
So did it hold up for you again? What'd you think?
Yes, it did actually. I like this a lot. The only thing that is hard of watching it is because it looks so awful. It looks awful.
Right.
But that being said, I don't really
care watchable.
Too much. It's watchable. Yeah, exactly.
It's like VHS watchable. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's what I like about it, there's not too much of a setup or anything. It kind of gets going right away.
Right.
You know, they're going to the island to look for her brother and stuff. And as soon as they get there, they pull into like a boat port, you know,
like a boathouse.
Garage, you know, like,
oh my god, that's eerie. That's an eerie moment,
Oh yeah, and because like I'm really touchy about the water and boats being on them because of my fear as a kid of sinking.
Right,
really.
Right.
You know, I don't like seeing boats sunk. I don't.
Right.
It's eerie to me. Mm-hmm. So when they first pull into this boat, there's a sunken boat right next to it. It's real creepy. Mm-hmm. And it kind of just sets up the mood right away as soon as they get into that boat port, you know, and then things start to happen. And what I like too is the gentleman that they go over in the boat with has a dog, Lovey.
Yeah, Bernard Hughes.
And Lovey
the old man Bernard Hughes.
Man. He she snaps or whatever and starts attacking him, the owner.
Yeah.
And that's cool too because you're like, this dog knows something's up, you know. Oh god, something's wrong.
Bites him,
you know?
Yeah.
Oh, it just attacks him, goes wild, you know, and so that for me, that set up the beginning of them coming into that boat port for me is like them coming into
They should
making the movie
leave.
turn
They
horror.
should turn around and leave.
Yeah.
It's obvious. A dog is barking, scared. It's going in there.
But for me, it's like it's like the setup of horror of the movie. For me, it's like them coming into that boat port means and it just from that point on, it just keeps going.
Right.
And not the boat, the movie, the horror. You know what I mean? Just keep,
No, it docks okay.
So you know, but. And I think the actual monster itself, the golem's pretty cool, and the noise it makes it shrieks more than anything.
Right.
It makes this shrinking, howling sound that's just bizarro, and it really puts you off kilter.
Yeah.
Or it does me, you know.
Oh, yeah. No, that's part, that's something I kind of, because there are things like I explained this movie to people almost to a T, and it was frightening. When I saw it again, I'm like, man, there is something wrong with me. I remembered way too much of this. A couple of things that I didn't really remember. One of them was that howl that was going around the island. I'm sure it scared the hell out of me when I was a kid anyway, but I'm just saying, I didn't really remember it. So that was a nice little perk when I saw it again. It's like, oh, wow, that is good. That's creepy. Yeah.
Yeah, very, very. And, I just, I think that sets the whole mood of the movie. Now, I'm not so much, I'm a visual person and stuff, but I don't like to think about a lot of the other stuff that they, into the movies. But like, I guess that beginning though, for me was that type of, atmospheric, I guess, part. It brought me into the film and I guess maybe they were doing that for effect. With the boat port and everything, you know what I mean? Like it just, cause that boat port's like a long and it's shut off and it seems like you're shut off already as soon as you're coming into that place, So I don't know. It just, that set up the whole mood for me, for the rest of the movie.
Right.
Completely.
Well, apparently this thing is on YouTube also. I was actually kind of looking at it. It's funny because everybody has the same story about this that I have. We saw it when we were kids. We remembered a little bit, couldn't remember the title, and then started questioning whether or not we really saw it.
Yeah.
Because it just went away, and people, it seemed like we could never find anyone else who saw it. And that's what you see everybody. There's 27 user reviews on IMDb of a movie you couldn't find since it aired.
Wow.
And like say Texas Reg here, okay, and the user review says, I remember seeing this twice when I was a 9-year-old kid. The first time I saw it, I was with my parents. So was I. When it originally aired on TV, and it scared me to death. Then I spent the night with my aunt and uncle, and it aired again. I saw it the second time. Yeah. And he said I got to see it a second time. I'm not even sure if I knew the name of it. I just know this movie scared me really bad both times I watched it. You know? And then apparently they said that they stumbled upon it on YouTube. So I'm going to have to go check that out and see what that looks like too.
Okay.
But it's just it boggles my mind how something like this could get made and it's gone.
It's gone.
It's gone. It's like, is it that important? I don't know, like whatever the hangups are, and I can't remember the exact hangups. I do know it was a copyright thing between people, and then Noel Black died, who was a director. I don't know. And it just bothers me because it's like this movie is very similar in my pantheon of memories of films as Dark Knight of the Scarecrow.
Okay.
It's very up there at Dark Knight of the Scarecrow, where I saw Dark Knight of the Scarecrow air. Luckily, TBS aired Dark Knight of the Scarecrow when I was in my 20s, and I was like, "Oh my shit, God!" So I think I recorded on VHS off of television. Like then, at least I had something that I could see of it. That's all I wanted with this was just something, to see. Well, when Angio found the chat room, there was one person who recorded off Betamax, and they were selling it, but they weren't selling it for a profit. They were selling it for the exact cost of a video CD, not a DVD, a video CD. That's how old this is. A video CD. As a matter of fact, it was like $1.57, some ridiculous like number, and I sent them a $5, just a tip. They sent me change back with the discs. So I guess they're like, I don't want any trouble with this. I don't want to get in trouble selling this. I'm not, stuff. So even though technically you can always get in trouble doing something like that, but. When I got it was just blown away. It was it. That was it. That's what I saw. That was it. And I'm like, holy shit. And I mean, I could have married. Matter of fact, I did marry her.
You did marry her.
That was huge for me, though. It was huge. It was huge. Dark Knight of the Scarecrow and this movie were my two when I was a little kid. Yeah. Besides Halloween.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, but these two really stuck out. They really, really stuck out to me. And I'm just so glad to see it. And it to me, it holds up. It holds up so well because, yes, there is a golem, okay? It's a mud golem made of mud. And the thing kind of, it's sort of like a cross between a Michael Myers and a Jason Voorhees, where it's out in the woods. Yeah. It's not really running, but it's kind of menacing and walking around.
And you
can see the silhouette.
Doorknobs and
you can see the silhouettes trying to break into the house that Joe Beth Williams' brother had lived in. There is another person who lives on an island, and that was a scene I didn't remember either.
Yeah,
where they actually go and there's the monster menaces the other resident on the island. Yeah, and what's cool about this too is that the mud monster is pretty cool looking. He's okay. But you don't see it too much.
No.
There's a great moment that is completely lifted from The Thing from Another World, where the door opens. Okay. You know, like when they're going through The Thing from Another World, the 50s version, they open the door and he's standing right there. Like you don't even know what's going to happen. Yeah. Great moment like that in there. Real good suspenseful moments where there's like point of view camera coming up and the howls. And the howls are cooler the further away they are.
Yes.
Yeah, it's just very cool to me. I mean, I'm kind of almost not being able to even talk about it because I'm so excited about watching it. It's so neat. It's so cool. And it's not long. It's 45 minutes long or 48 minutes long. On the disc, there's commercials after it, which you have to watch.
Which are fun. Yeah. I enjoyed some of those a lot.
You still got the ring around the collar? You got the ring around the collar?
I sure do.
Yeah. I admit, we did watch the whole thing. We watched the commercials too.
Yeah, I did too.
Jefferson's, Central and Mountain, 7:00. This week, Flo threatens to go on strike.
Flo says, "Kiss my grits."
Yeah. The other Flo. Yeah, that was Alice. Yeah. But but it's fun. It's a fun little movie. It's a fun disc. It's eerie. It's eerie in a very similar way that Dark Knight of Scarecrow. Boy, Dark Knight of Scarecrow gives you a supernatural bend. This gives you a monster bend. Yeah, totally. And as a kid, if I'd have saw this, that's what I would have, because I would have been 7 or 8, or whatever. Mm-hmm. And it would have flipped me out because of that monster more than anything, because that type of monster and the fact that it could lose appendages and grow them back and things like that would have freaked me out. Yeah, they in one scene they cut its hand off because it was trying to get in a doorway, and the hand moves around and the hand attacks him and stuff. So that was another brilliant moment. And at 4, I've never seen 4 or 5 years old. I'd never seen nothing like that. No, never seen anything like anything. So it just blew me away. Yeah. Trying to think, like I said, the effects are okay. The ending is all right. Yeah. I mean, it kind of makes sense. And what's funny is that there was one huge plot hole that I was watching going, oh man, I didn't think about this, and it was trying to tie up at the end that part. Yeah, when it was like, how did it sink the boats if salt and salt water kill it? And I was like, what did it do? Pull it out and punch a hole through it? And that's exactly what Granville Van Dusen says. The cop, they're trying to tie up the whole thing after the end. They're back in the mainland. Joe Beth Williams and Granville Van Dusen are talking to a cop, and the cop's like, well, if salt water destroys it, how did it get the boats? And he says, I guess it pulled it out of the water and punched a hole through it. I was like, oh my God. Yeah. Okay. And that's the only thing. These two should be in jail right now. These two would be on their way to jail and they'd be laughed at. Like, oh, man, that did hurt it. Well, I mean, but what I liked about it hurt it, but what I liked about it was the fact that they owned it. Yeah, They said, well, there's one plot hole, and here it is, and there you go. And I'm like, okay. And the thing was tough enough where it could have done that. I mean, it probably could have done that, but it was still a little bit like, okay, how did that happen? Look, I'm going to give this just a grape ape up to the rafters. I mean, I can't do anything else, but to me, it's one of the greatest horror pieces of anything I've ever seen. Yeah. It's 78, but it's not really locked in time anywhere. No, not at all. It doesn't. Well, because they're not beating you over the head with time period stuff in here at all. No, and then they're on that island, so you really don't know. It's not much going on, and their clothes aren't really too bizarre, and their hairstyles ain't all crazy and stuff. Like they don't. It doesn't really look like any time period. Almost, it's kind of cool, right? Anyway. And you almost looks more 80s to me in a little bit. And you have everything you need. You have a creepy cellar with a way in and a way out. You got the howling, you got a monster, you've got people that are actually pretty likable. Sunken boats. Yeah. I mean, it's all there. And like you said, it gets going because one good thing about this is that there's not a lot of fat to it because it was TV and it was fast, it was quick. You had to get things moving. And we've talked about the 70s and television was a really good time for made-for-TV movies.
Sure was, yeah.
I mean, it really was.
You're right.
Don't Be Afraid of the Dark. Dark Knight Scarecrow was technically 81, but we're talking about the same era. We're talking about a 3-year difference here and stuff. So I think there was really good creepy stuff.
Yeah, for sure. No, I enjoyed this one, and I'm glad we went back and reviewed it. Yeah. Mostly because I know how important it is to you and stuff. And that's the thing. I mean, if anything that we've done on this show, I think we've been able to help people maybe find stuff that they haven't found or been looking for and stuff like that. And then we've just given our personal views, what's made us horror fans, and that's the stuff that I like to talk about, and it intrigues me to hear these stories from people. Like like Prophecy kind of was almost like that for me.
It's another
as
one of those
a
movies.
kid. Yeah, it just blew my mind, and that's the only one that ever gave me a nightmare. Mm-hmm. And as much as Jaws and all that other stuff, and Orca scared the shit out of me and still does. And when I'm swimming, the first guy in a pond or a puddle to get eaten by a shark, but I know it's good. But it's the way it affects you as a kid or the first time you see it and the certain things and how it just, if I'd never seen Prophecy ever again, I guess I would know so much still about it out, and it would just be ingrained in my head, and luckily I've been able to see some of these ones and it's great that you were able to get that too, but I'm going to give this a big, great ape up, Tim. I love this. It's a good one. It's a good television, spooky little creepy, show.
That's what it is.
And it's just good. It doesn't have too much. Like you said, not too much fat, which I also enjoy. It gets straight to the point. There's a monster. There's boats sunk. You're not getting off this island. You're in trouble. And it's just, and it's good. Not too much talking either, like too much in depth. Sure. There's a little bit when they get into talking about her brother and stuff like that. And he confronts her about her brother. And that's all good too.
Yeah, they do keep a little story going through what the hell's going on, and they do stop but all of it's pretty much like designed to be in the story. It's not a lot of there's not a lot of excess dialogue that doesn't need to be there or anything like that too. And you're right about that because people watching this, look, it's not like I'm telling adults today that they're going to have nightmares watching this. What I'm saying is that it's kind of like going back to an old Val Lewton movie. You get kind of surprised how creepy they can get for their age and era and what they are. And this is one of those things where this should be right up there with like Bad Ronald and some of these other movies that you see coming out. I just hope someday that Warner Archive or somebody finds this, strikes a deal with somebody, or just says, screw it, sue me. And they put it out. I hope the negative is still available somewhere, or even a print of this somewhere. It has to be. Yeah. It's played on CBS. It's got to be somewhere in some vault, some print somewhere.
Somewhere.
Please. Now, we have begged people for Prophecy to come out. It's coming out. And we're begging people to find this and put it out. But Mr. Ben, I promise you, I am going to start lobbying the DVD companies that we know, namely Vinegar Syndrome, Synapse, and Severn. Yeah. And I'm going to start lobbying these guys to do this. I'm going to actually give them copies. I'm going to say, you guys need to put this out. You have to put this out. You got to find this, figure out what the hell is going on, and get it out. I'm going to lobby hard for Mr. Ben Harley. This is going to be the Tim Owen Harley Show's little pet project. We're going to get this done. Good. Yeah. And I'm going to have a goal. I'm on board. I want us to be able to record a commentary for it.
Oh, that's nice. That'd be awesome.
That's my goal.
Thank you, Tim. That'd be great.
Never going to happen. Never going to happen. That's my goal. I figure if I shoot my goal that high, at least we'll get the disc. At least we'll get it out. Something, you know what I'm saying? So, right. But so watch out, companies, because I'm coming for you with 2 DVDs ablazing. And I'm going to hand you these things going, here you go. You guys need to put this stuff out. So,
that's right.
Again, giant grape ape up to the Raptors for me. Big grape ape up from you for the World Beyond episode Monster. Let's get out of here, Mr. Ben Harley. Thanks, everybody at HorrorHound that came by. Thanks, everybody, for buying the World Beyond. And if you're interested in what we're talking about here, come to Cincinnati HorrorHound or Indy HorrorHound. You will be able to find DVD Bob's Table. I promise you, it's a giant table full of DVDs everywhere, tables after tables after tables, and ask for it by name. The World Beyond, and we'll get you there if you get there early enough to get it because it went quick. Yeah, it went quick. So, but anyway, until next week, Mr. Ben Harley, stay spooky, and we'll talk to you then.
Keep it creepy, people.
You've been listening to the Tim Owen Harley Show, brought to you by ScreenPrintingFactory.com, your affordable one-stop solution to all your screen printing needs.